Have you ever wanted to write a story? Probably not, but you want to see me write one. Why me? Well, let me tell you, I am Colin Peening. You don't care, but what you do care about is that I'm going to write the best story in 1 hour. First, we got to start with the timer. For 1 hour, we just started the timer. How am I gonna write the coolest story? Well, only in the most amazing notebook ever. As you can see, I'm writing in the book of cool ideas, so any idea I write is the coolest one. What is the first step to a story? Character. Character, we gotta come up, random character name. Deborah. Deborah is our character. Deborah. All right, what is the second thing? Deborah has to have an issue. What kind of issues does she have? She left her stove on. That's banned. Okay, so how is she going to solve this problem? Why did she leave her stove on? She was, let's supposedly say that she is a secret agent for the FBI and they called her in on like a secret message. Secret mission. She got called on a secret secret mission by the FBI, but that doesn't matter. FBI doesn't really matter, so that's kind of like a detail that What happens after the problem? So the establishing event is she's baking cookies, right? So she's just kind of like, I was gonna do like a frying pan, but that's not how you bake cookies. Sure, she was cooking them on a frying pan. I don't care, you know, I'm gonna do that because I can do what I want. So you guys can't tell me that this is not a super cool idea because it is the book of cool ideas, all right? So Deborah is baking / frying cookies and she gets a call from the FBI. But since the problem is that she left the stove on, we're not gonna go in depth on her mission because that's not important. FBI business, whatever. Our problem here is that she left the stove on, obviously. So she comes home and, what if we made it more interesting? Maybe she didn't actually leave the stove on. Maybe Deborah actually was responsible and turned the stove off, right? But the call that she received as an FBI agent wasn't actually the FBI. It was a secret other underground criminal society thing. And there's a guy, the antagonist, because I did not totally forget about the antagonist. The antagonist is this guy, Jeffrey Pat. That's one name. It's a compound word. Now, we gotta have a motive for Jeffrey Pat. Why does Jeffrey want to do this, right? He wouldn't just randomly target an FBI agent, right? He's got to have a reason for this. Reasoning more than he's part of the criminal underground thingy Bobby. There's a reason that they wanted to do this. So why is that? That's a good question. Maybe it has something to do with cookies because she was originally baking the cookies, and see, that would make sense. Well, the fact that they would have something to do with the cookies, that doesn't really make sense, but for the story's sake, it does make sense because the cool ideas, and I can only have cool ideas, so shut up. So Jeffrey Pat, is he like the leader of the criminal thingy Bobby? Or is he just like a henchman? Maybe like a mercenary, but for cookies. Maybe she bought... Okay, so Deborah has a secret ingredient that she's trying from her grandmother that she got the secret ingredient from, but her grandma illegally got those from the criminal thingy Bobby. So, okay, we got, okay, this is good. What we got is Deborah's grandma was a secret ingredient. No, wait. Deb's grandma owned the secret ingredient, which she stole from the criminal thingy Bobby. And Jeffrey Pat, who is part of the criminal thingy Bobby, is sent to retrieve the secret ingredient from Deborah. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now, obviously, we have to have a reason for him turning the oven on. Okay, why did he turn the oven on? Because that's the original problem, and we can't change the problem because I already came up with it, and I wrote this in pen, and I don't feel like crossing it out because that's too much work. And like I said, it's written in the book of cool ideas. Helps me focus. So why did Jeffrey leave the stove on? Maybe Deborah like comes back and he has to like cover up his tracks. Maybe Jeffrey accidentally bumped the stove while he was sneaking out, but we can't have like Jeffrey get away so easily because that's too easy, right? We gotta make it more interesting. So he bumps the stove with his knee, leg, or nose. He bumps it with his nose. I'm running out of space because we got so much glorious info. Okay, so hear me out. What if Jeffrey had to steal the cookies because Deborah used all of the secret ingredient for the cookies? Because she used way too much, right? Or there just wasn't much left because it's like super like rare. So he has to steal the cookies. And in that, I was gonna have Jeffrey bump the stove, but the problem is he doesn't bump the stove because the stove is already going. She left the stove on. She left the stove on because she was baking the cookies. Or no, wait, she was baking cookies. The cookies were done. The cookies were done and she okay. So I'm not stupid, I'm just dumb. Deborah's baking. Deborah, what did Deborah do? Who's Deborah? Why is Deborah? How is Deborah? Deborah. Okay, so we're just gonna go over everything because I am struggling right now. So, Deborah's baking cookies from a recipe from her great grandma that used a secret ingredient, but she got the secret ingredient. Her grandma did. Her grandma got the secret ingredient from this criminal organization. She stole it from this criminal organization, and now Deborah is using them to bake her cookies. Okay, so she got done baking the cookies. She got done baking them, put them on top, right? And then she turns the stove off. No, I can't say that because we said she left it on. Okay, so she left the stove on. So she baked the cookies, but she left the stove on. Maybe that has a factor into stopping Jeffrey. Okay, so Jeffrey is sent to retrieve these cookies because they have the secret ingredient. Well, Jeffrey obviously doesn't see that the stove is still on. He's worried about the cookies, right? And so he is about ready to steal the cookies. He's like, I found the cookies, yes. I don't know why he's Russian, but Jeffrey's Russian. Jeffrey's like, I found the cookies. And then right before he grabs the cookies, the like smoke alarm goes off, or like the alarm goes off because the oven, it's like burning some chocolate chips or something like that. I don't know. Budget cuts, we can't have fire. So Deborah has a watch, like a really smart watch, because she's part of the FBI. They have like smart, walking sticks. So she gets a notification from her fancy watch and it tells her that her oven is like super hot and it's like still on, right? And she's like, oh shoot, I gotta go, guys. She rips it back home. She's like, woo! But of course, in this, Jeffrey's still there. He's like frantically trying to get up the cookies. And right before he's able to get them all, Deborah comes home. She slams open the door. Pow! My cookies have been stolen. She just knows because the guy obviously stored them in like a container that conceals the smell. So she's like, where are my cookies? She sounds super intense because she's Deborah from the FBI. And so she's like, I know who you are, Jeffrey. Because maybe they have like some elongated, like she's been trying to track him down and okay, idea. So what if they have this like elongated relationship? Not relationship because they're not married. Maybe it's her husband or ex-husband because they went different. Oh my gosh, the lore, the lore. Okay, so Deborah and Jeffrey used to be hubby and wife and they went their separate paths. Like Deborah joined the FBI, but then Jeffrey got linked in with this criminal organization. Or maybe Jeffrey got linked in with this criminal organization, and then Deborah joined the FBI to hunt him down, or because she didn't want to be involved with him, or she wanted to save him, or maybe both or none of those. Maybe she just liked being a part of the FBI. I don't know. So she joined the FBI, and then they've been trying to hunt him down. Like she's been trying to find her hubby, but they've been having a hard time. And so maybe... Okay. We're building some layers here. It's a trick at the end. Like it's a twist. It's a twist. Twist, cone, twist, Twix, Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. I don't know why I'm hungry. So it's a trick. Deborah set up the whole thing. She knew that Jeffrey was looking for that mixed ingredient. Or maybe she knew that Jeffrey was gonna be sent on that mission because he knew the location of the ingredients, and so she set it up. Okay. So she slams open the door. Oh, sorry, no. In the Russian guy, because for some reason Jeffrey, she has a thing for Russian guys, I guess. She's like, oh no, Deborah has come home. So we're getting to like the end of this is like the climax, right? They're gonna meet each other. He like finally gets the lock, and then right behind him steps Deborah, and she's like, hand over the cookies. Jeffrey, what was this? Jeffrey Pat? Maybe his name is actually Pat, but then he changed his name to Jeffrey because of criminal organization. So that's why it's Jeffrey Pat. This is great. This is fantastic. I'm curious, what time am I at right now? Where did I throw my timer? I can't find my timer. Oh, there it is. So it's been 33 minutes, or no, I have 33 minutes left to go. Yeah, okay, so I have like 30 minutes left. Let's review what we have so far. That's me punching the subscribe button. You should do that yourself, but not actually punch it, because then you're gonna probably break your phone, or break your wrist, or both. And I don't wanna be sued for that. But what you should do is punch it with your finger. That's the subscribe button, that's your finger. You should do that. It'd make me happy. All right, we got quite a story going. Deborah is baking cookies. All right, she gets called to leave by supposedly the FBI, who she works for. She leaves the cookies out, and at this point, she gets in her car and she dips. And then Jeffrey, bad guy, sneaks in. Right as he's about to steal the cookies, Deborah breaks into the house. So then they get into like a gunfight, because that'd be cool. They get into like a super, like, but then in the end, Deborah wins and she like disarms Jeffrey. He's like, impossible. What crap, he's not, he's Russian. It's impossible in Russian. Siri, what's impossible in Russian?
Невозможный.
Impossible. Dialogue is for another day. We don't have time for that. We only have 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes to get this done. We're close. I'm noticing we got all this lore going on, but in the end, our problem that we decided is that she left her oven on. Maybe she thought she left it on. Maybe she's like, yeah, I did this on purpose, all part of my plan. Let me turn this oven off. Thanks, oven. Doesn't turn off. And she's like, haha, funny. Turns oven off again. Doesn't turn off, of course. Maybe the criminal thingy-bobby programmed the oven and rigged it to explode. Because they didn't trust Jeffrey, they knew that he would get too entangled in this whole issue with Deborah. Then, in the end, it's Jeffrey and Deborah versus the oven. That's the overarching problem. And we just solved that issue. Let's go! So we gotta figure out this last sequence to turn the oven off. So maybe the cookies are the key to fixing it. How are the cookies significant? How are the cookies significant? They're really delicious. They're really delicious. Maybe the reason that they want the secret ingredient so bad is because it gives you like special mind powers, or it lets you like do something with your brain. They're not like drugs. They're not drugs. Don't do drugs, kid. Don't do weird cookie drugs. This is rough. Okay, so maybe we skip over the cookies. Maybe they don't eat the cookies. Maybe they need to save the cookies. Maybe the reason she baked the cookies is because her grandmother left her a note. She's like, bake these when you turn like 24 and a half. Oh, her grandmother has a certain pattern, or she's like left, right, button, boop, beep, boop, bop. But maybe it's not like directly translatable to Deborah, and she's like, what does this mean? But then Jeffrey's like, I know what that means. And she's like, how do you know? And then he translates that. We have a minute left. Okay, we just gotta get final details down. Deborah and Jeffrey work together. Deborah grabs her note from her grandmother that tells her like the secret code, and then Jeffrey helps her translate it. Then they turn the oven off with like 2 seconds left. They stop it just in time. But then the criminal organization is like, you think that's all? We'll get you next time. And Jeffrey's like, not on my watch. Not with my love. And she's like, oh my gosh, you love me again. There we go. 0 seconds left. Boom. Done. We got it. Finished. Oh, that was really fun. Dang, we got deep. There is some deep lore. I'm proud of ourselves. I'm proud of us. Thank you for sticking through whatever the heck this was. Don't do drug cookies.